What's up, guys? David Carmena here. Let's talk about something that's happening right now that could affect your money. The government is set to shut down on Friday. I know. You're thinking not another government shutdown, like seriously. But this one's different, guys. This one, it may actually happen and it's going to affect your bottom line. Let's get right to it.
As Congress is racing toward another shutdown deadline, with leaders putting the finishing touches on a final funding package and lots of questions about the timeline for actually passing the legislation. It's all unfolding on a busy day at the U.S. Capitol, where Republicans are again focused on their investigation of the Biden family. Let's bring in congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins. It's good to see you, friend. Here we go again. Congress is now facing this Friday deadline to fund 70% of government agencies. Where do things stand?
I want to remind people that this is a problem. We've been through this so much that there is a real danger of everyone, including members of Congress, becoming numb to this. Where we are is there is hope that they will meet this deadline, but there's also the chance that they don't. Let me take you through the calendar of where we are. As we sit, today is Wednesday. Some of us had to remind ourselves today. Today is Wednesday. The potential shutdown would begin Saturday if the spending bills are not passed by then. A partial shutdown, it would be about 70% of the agencies involved. Now, here's the situation. House Republicans have an internal pledge where any bill, they should get 3 days to read the bills. 1, 2, 3, you count that. Clearly, there's not enough time to read a giant bill and pass it by Saturday. So what we have is a situation where House Republicans are preparing to waive their own internal rule to pass this by suspending the rule. And the hope is that this will be voted on in the House on Friday, quickly run across the other side of the Capitol, and then the Senate would then pass it. I don't have to tell you, I don't have to tell our viewers, the Senate does not move quickly. And so it is a big question mark as to whether the Senate can actually pass this on time. Here is what some of the leaders involved said about all this today.
All right, so let's stop right there. Now, remember, this is after multiple times of kicking this can down the street, down the road. Congress' job is to keep the government open. The House's job with the power of the purse is to keep the government open and going. And having to kick this can constantly down the road to govern by continuing resolution is just horrible. Let's continue.
I'm a rule follower, and I believe in that idea. We're also up against the crunch of the weekend, and some members on both sides of the aisle will be traveling and that kind of thing. So we're talking about how to expedite it as quickly as possible, but also allow all the members to have an adequate time to review the legislation.
This is not a political or policy question for me. It's basic timekeeping. Amending this bill will take up time that we don't have, all but guaranteeing a shutdown. So again, no one wins a shutdown, and everyone knows what we need to do. We're almost there. We can do this.
Brian Schatz, they're speaking at the Leadership News Conference. Can they do it, though, is the question. This bill is going to be well over 1,000 pages, maybe 2,000 pages long. As we sit here tonight, we still don't have the text. The speaker said it was going to happen this afternoon. We're all waiting. So this is going to be incredibly close.
So the bill is not written, but there is this handshake agreement on a spending deal. We heard the House Speaker Mike Johnson say that he's a rule follower. Tell us about that, where that stands.
Right. It's important because in this era of gridlock at the U.S. Capitol, one of the main things that Congress does is pass spending bills. This is how they affect our lives in one of the most consequential ways. So breaking down what I've learned from my sources in both parties that's going to be in this bill specifically, this includes money for the Pentagon, DHS, Homeland Security, HHS, Labor, Treasury, the White House, very big parts of our government. What they've agreed to is to, one thing, raise the number of detention beds for ICE to 42,000. That will be the largest number of detention beds funded in this country in our history. There will be no funding in this bill. It will say no funding for the next calendar year until next March for UNRWA. That is, of course, the UN agency that has come under close scrutiny because of situation in Gaza. And in addition, there will be 12,000 Afghan special visas granted. Those are for those Afghan interpreters and others who were allies of the U.S. while they're in Afghanistan. Those are specifics. Let's talk big picture. What is the point of all of this? This bill alone will be $1.2 trillion in spending. Add that together with the other portion that passed recently. Total spending for this current fiscal year then will be about $1.6 trillion. What does that mean? Basically, defense is going to get a small increase over last year. All the non-defense agencies are staying about the same. That's important because Democrats were fearing big cuts there. One other note. Once all this gets through, Speaker Johnson has told House Republicans that he plans to try and tackle Ukraine. We asked him about this today. He does not have a plan for how. So we're going to watch that. And of course, also waiting in the wings, that impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas that the House passed. Also, we will be dealing with that after this and after the House and Senate return from a spring break.
So, Lisa, if lawmakers miss the deadline, what would a weekend shutdown actually mean?
All right. So, a couple of things here. One, they shouldn't be taking no vacation without doing their job. I'd say that the House members that plan on going on vacation without passing this bill should not be going on vacation. Should call them in, call a special session, whatever you need to do to get these guys on the job, working on the bill to pass the bill. You don't get a vacation and the government is shut down. That's crazy. Second thing is that you got to deal with this Russia-Ukraine issue. Either, find a way to fund them, find a way to get money, an aid to them. We have got to deal with that situation. Kicking that can down the road is not an option. So let's hope that by some miracle they can get this bill through the House into the Senate before the government shutdown, or at the very, very worst, you have a weekend shutdown by Monday. Everything's back up and going, so it have a minimal effect on the economy. As always, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. So if you like this commentary, please like and subscribe. Salute. Stay grinding. See you guys on the next one.